Have you ever played a horror game and felt that real creeping dread that gets right under your skin? You know, the kind that isn't about a monster jumping out at you, but more about that slow, terrifying feeling that your own mind is starting to crumble? Well, today we are pulling back the curtain on the master architect of that exact feeling. Because honestly, that's pretty much what's happening. The terror you feel in some of the most advanced modern horror games, a lot of it was designed in a way over 150 years ago by the master of macabre himself, Edgar Allan Poe. So, in this explainer, we're going on an archaeological dig. We're going to uncover the original designs for digital fear. And this isn't just about some vague inspiration. Oh no, we are talking about the actual foundational blueprints that Poe left behind, the ones developers are still using to build our nightmares today. So, here's our plan. We're going to start by connecting the dots with the ghost in the game. Then we'll dive deep into 3 of Poe's master blueprints, Madness, Dread, and the Unreliable Player. And finally, we'll look ahead to see how his ghost is going to keep shaping the future of fear. Okay, let's get right into it. First things first, we need to draw a straight line from the ink on Poe's pages directly to the controller that's in your hands. How in the world did these old literary ideas become the interactive mechanics we know and dread today? Well, here's how. This is where abstract fear becomes a concrete game mechanic. Poe's obsession with internal terror, the fear that comes from inside your head, it's not just a theme in games anymore. It's a rule. It is literally the sanity meter ticking down. It's those creepy, distorted audio cues that make you think you heard something. It's those moments where you just can't trust what you're seeing. All right, let's look at our first blueprint, Madness. This is how Poe designed the perfect internal nightmare. This is all about the horrors that come from within you, not from some monster outside. Poe really pioneered this idea that the most terrifying monster is the one that's already inside your own head. It's not some creature you can shoot or run away from. It's your own perception, your own paranoia, turning against you. And games have grabbed this blueprint with both hands. I mean, the lineage here is just undeniable. When you're hiding in a closet in Amnesia, terrified of a monster you literally can't even look at, you're feeling the exact same escalating paranoia as the narrator of The Telltale Heart. That awful, trapped feeling in Phasmophobia, that's the 21st century version of the premature burial. The blueprint is identical. And this quote, this just captures that psychological trap perfectly. The narrator is trying so hard to convince you, and probably himself, that he's sane, even as his story proves the total opposite. This is the exact tension that games create. They put you in the shoes of someone who is losing their mind, and then they ask you to make rational decisions. It's a genius, and frankly, a terrifying piece of design. Okay, on to our second blueprint. This is where we see how Poe made the very walls bleed terror. This is about transforming a simple location, a setting, into an active, malicious monster. Poe taught us something absolutely crucial. A place isn't just a backdrop, it's a character in the horror story. Those crumbling mansions, the suffocating crypts, the maze-like corridors, these aren't just places where bad things happen. They are the reason bad things happen. They're designed to oppress you, confuse you, and trap you. And this blueprint? Wow, it translates perfectly to modern games. The Baker estate in Resident Evil 7? That's not just a house. It's a living, breathing symbol of decay, just like one of Poe's settings. The tight, dark corridors of the asylum in Outlast are the interactive descendants of the claustrophobic crypts Poe dreamed up. In these games, the environment itself is actively trying to kill you. Now for our third blueprint. And this one is maybe the most insidious of all. This is the one that makes you question your own mind, your own eyes, and your own role in the story. Poe was an absolute master of the unreliable narrator. In his stories, you can never, ever trust that what you're reading is the real, objective truth. But modern games have taken this idea and done something incredible with it. They've turned the player into the unreliable narrator. So think about it. When you walk down a hallway in Layers of Fear, you turn around, and suddenly the hallway has completely changed behind you. That's the game using Poe's blueprint. It's breaking the rules of reality to show you how broken the character's mind is, which forces you, the player, to question what's real. You literally cannot trust your own perception anymore. And this is what takes the horror way beyond just simple jump scares. The technique becomes a really deep psychological exploration. By making your actions and your perceptions questionable, the game forces you to look inward, to confront those darker parts of the human psyche that Poe was so obsessed with. So we've seen the blueprints, right? We've traced the designs all the way from the 19th century to your console today. So the big question is, where does it go from here? How will Poe's ghost continue to haunt the future of gaming? Well, these three core ideas, they are the pillars of modern horror, and they are not going anywhere. The enemy within, the environment as a threat, and the questioning of your own reality. This is Poe's immortal legacy. It's the engine that's going to drive fear forward. And you can see this terrifying progression right here. We went from simply reading about fear in Poe's stories to actively playing through it with a controller. Now we're heading towards total immersion with things like VR and AI. That barrier between us and the nightmare, it is getting thinner and thinner. Now just imagine the next step, a VR game that doesn't just show you a scary environment, but one that uses AI to learn your personal specific fears, an experience that dynamically changes itself to become your own perfect Poe-like nightmare, a story of madness and dread from which there is truly no escape. So the next time you're playing a horror game and that feeling of dread starts to creep in, look for the blueprints. Look for the madness inside, the oppressive world outside, the unreliable reality. Because Poe's ghost is still there, hiding in the code, whispering the very best ways to scare you. The only question left is, where will you see him next?